Hey friends, well, we're back. Oh my goodness, clearly I should have checked sooner for whatever reason, although I kind of think I know what happened. The whole first, 20 minutes of my demo was muted. I am so embarrassed and I'm so sorry. So we're going to actually just kind of start over here. If you were on that first part, I apologize. If you're watching this part, which will be the recording, we're going to be midway, but that's okay. I'll kind of do a skim over of what I've already done and what we're going to do going forward. So we are making fresh pasta with the pasta, the deluxe stand mixer, and the new pasta attachments, which I'm so excited about these. And what I was explaining in the first video, which I think I totally deleted it because like there's no sound. So I'm explaining all these things and you're all like, what is she saying? I did talk about the importance of measuring the flour for the recipe using the spoon and level. And in the first video, I'm just going to top that part real quicker because it is important. In the first video, I was showing how if you do a scoop and then level off your flour for this recipe, you're going to end up with too much flour in your recipe. And that's why it's important. You spoon it in and then you level it off. And what I did was I scooped it, leveled it, and then I re-measured it into the same measuring cup. And I had about a tablespoon and a half of extra flour when I measured it correctly from when I measured it incorrectly. So if you're doing the scoop and level, you're getting about a tablespoon and a half extra flour into your recipe per cup. This recipe has 3 cups of flour, so that would be pushing a quarter cup of extra flour in accurate measure if I scoop it and then level it off. So it's really important to do the spoon in your flour, level it off to get an accurate flour measurement especially for recipes like pasta, because pasta's a little trickier. It's not like I don't know, chocolate chip cookies. Maybe you're used to having too much flour in your chocolate chip cookies and you like them being a little heavier and denser. Or maybe you're like, that's why my cookies are always too dense. Or my cake, if you've tried to make cakes from scratch and have them come out really dense, a lot of it is how you measure the flour. So I talked about that at length at the beginning of the first video, but nobody could hear it. So I'm really sorry. I also gave the disclaimer at the front of that video that I'm getting over COVID, so I may or may not make sense because I've been having problems getting the words out in the right order. And I remember so distinctly the only other time I've ever had COVID, having the same problem. You're starting to feel better. You're like, okay, I can go out in public. I can make a phone call and sound like a human being. Only maybe not so much. I'm so upset that the whole first video was just a total bust. Here we are. All right. So when you make your pasta dough, you refrigerate it for at least 30 minutes, and then you can start working with it. So I had already done these 2 little, you can see them down here, these 2 little piles of pasta, and these are actually going to go in the freezer. What you want to do is make sure you've got lots of flour kind of mixed into them, and then you can freeze them, and they will stay in the freezer for up to 2 months. So if you've ever seen fresh pasta like this in the grocery store, that's what they do with it, okay? And you can do it too, and you can do it at home, and it's super fun, and you're about to see why. So we're going to take this second piece of dough. I have 2 more just like it in the fridge. This recipe makes a lot of pasta, and I like to flatten it into kind of a narrow, skinny guy here, and you're going to see why here in just a minute. So this comes with 3 of these pieces. The other one's back in the box already. This is the roller, and then we have 2 pieces that cut. This is a spaghetti cut, and the other one is a fettuccine cut. And maybe I'll pull that up since we've already made some spaghetti here. You can all see what the fettuccine looks like. So we're going to pop this on, and we are going to use this to flatten this dough. And do I have? I do, yeah. Well, we're just going to make it worse. Where's my towel? You do want to use, you want lots of flour on your hands and on the board when you're making the pasta because it is sticky. It has 4 simple ingredients. It's flour, oil, eggs, salt. That's it. Things I almost always have on hand. And if I don't, it's because I need to go to my friend Hannah and pick up eggs. Flour, salt, eggs, oil. So simple. All right, so we are going to put this through, and we're actually going to do it 3 times. You just set this to the custom setting, which is the default setting, level 1, and push start. And it's going to start turning these rollers. And you're going to see here in just a minute. So we're going to put this one through. And we're actually going to do this multiple times to get our dough really nice and smooth so that it cuts evenly. I was saying on the first video that, you know, for some of you, you're like, why not just buy this at the store? Buy the pasta. And if that is your happy place, you go for it, by all means. But for some, and I was saying my daughter Sarah is very much this person. Cooking and making things from scratch is very therapeutic. It is definitely for me. I love the process. I love thinking I did this, I made this myself. And just even seeing how this turns out, and when we cut the spaghetti, it's even more fun, which you'll see here in a minute. But this is certainly, you know, probably not something to plan for a really busy day, even for those of us for whom this is cathartic. Although, on the other hand, maybe it is the kind of thing you want to plan for a busy day. Send the kids off to do their homework, and you go down into the kitchen and play with the pasta maker. So that might be the thing for you. It is, you know, to each his own, right? All right, we're setting it to the number 1, which is the thinnest cut. And you saw I cut it in half now because it's getting really, really long, and it's just going to get longer. And we don't want mile-long spaghetti. I don't. It starts to break. So through the rollers twice on each setting, 3, 2, and 1. Can you see? Look how long it's getting. And so I have the 2 little nests of pasta down there already, which are each easily a serving. So this recipe easily makes 8 servings of pasta. Now I don't have water ready to boil to throw the pasta in over here because I decided to just not try to do all of that, because clearly with my COVID brain, keeping it less complicated, especially on live camera, is probably a good plan for me tonight. But here's one of the really beautiful things about homemade pasta. It only takes 3 or 4 minutes to cook. So fresh pasta in general cooks very quickly, which to me is a win. And then, oh, the flavor. It's like anything else. You make it fresh and the flavor is so good. So good. All right. So these 2 are now ready to cut. So we're going to turn this off. We're going to take off the roller. I just have to think backwards here. And this is the spaghetti cutter. So, you know, I'll do one spaghetti, I'll do one fettuccine, and you can see the difference because it's so fun. All right, so we're going to just turn that back on. I really like that. I really don't have to look at that button. I know it's just custom level 1, and it's going to stay that way. And lots of flour on here. Now, a couple other things to know. I use just plain old all-purpose flour for this, but you can use seminola flour, which I have in the basement. So next time I'm going to try that. All right, so there's our pasta. How fun is that? And we're just going to swirl that into another little nest here on the counter here, and then I'm going to actually take this one off and show you the fettuccine cut. Okay, so we'll pop this one on and start it. If I'm going to freeze it, like, or freeze it, I'm going to freeze most of this. I like making sure it's really well floured before it goes through the cutter, because now I'm not trying to get flour in between all those in those nests. Okay, so here we go. Here's the difference. So you can see it's a much wider cut compared to the spaghetti. There it goes. Okay, so we've got our fettuccine here, and here's just to show you the difference. Here's the fettuccine, here is the spaghetti. Now, you don't have to freeze it. You can also dry it. And my friend Linda Monroe, I thought this was brilliant. She used her cooling rack to hang her pasta. So literally, where did I put, oh, here it is. So I have just a cutting mat. I'm going to set this on next to my power cord. And we can literally just hang the pasta on the cooling rack and let it dry. So those of you who have Italian grandmothers and you remember walking into her kitchen and seeing the pasta drying on a dowel or something, this might bring back some really fun memories. Now, what I don't know off the top of my head, I'll have to look here and give you an answer, is how long you want to let the pasta dry and how long it'll store after that. But it's all in the recipe. It's all in the notes. Okay, that I give up on that one. I've made a mess out of it. All right, so I have 2 more pieces of dough to put through. I'm not going to bore you with watching all of that, but you can see how easy this is to use. Let me show you how easy it is to clean. So you take this off. This piece slides off. It even says on here slide for people like me who have COVID brain. Comes with this little brush, okay, that you can use to get any stuff out of here that might be kind of, stuck in the corners. I was saying in the first video that no one could hear me, my daughter in Uganda, this was the first thing she asked me to pack more of for my visit next month. She showed me the one she has. It's like down to the nub. She uses it so much. So this comes with a lot of our products as an additional cleaning tool, including this guy. And so you can use it to get in there, and you can, there's actually a little key that comes that you can then turn the blades. It's in the other room. I forgot to make sure I had it over here. But it'll turn these so you can continue to brush. And then you do want to wash these by hand. These pieces might be dishwasher safe. I don't remember, but you're going to wash it all by hand, in my opinion, and just let it set it on a clean drying rack or on a clean towel. Let it air dry until it's thoroughly dry, and then put it back in the box. This is one of the very few things that I will store actually in the box, because it comes with little sections where everything fits. And what I don't want is to have them getting bumped around in a kitchen drawer. So for me, they're going to stay in the box. You can do whatever works best for you. But that is it. That's how to use the new pasta attachments for the Deluxe stand mixer. So one last thing, and then I'm going to stop. True story. I have always had a heavy-duty stand mixer in my kitchen since, well, I was expecting Hannah, and she's 30-something now. So it's been a long time, since before my Pamper Chef career started. Loved my stand mixer. And when Pamper Chef introduced this one, my kids all went, "Oh, Mom, what are you going to do?" Because they knew how much I loved my other stand mixer. And I said, well, I'm going to see if it, what's the difference, and I'll decide. It's just so silly. It's like everything else Pamper Chef has come out with. I loved my old stand mixer. It was fine. This one's so much better. Little things like when I made the dough, I set it for on knead for 5 minutes, and while it was doing its thing, I was like setting up the stand for the camera, and I don't know, I think I refilled my water bottle. Just, I didn't have to stand here and monitor it. I just put it on the setting, pressed start, and went off and did whatever I needed to do. It is really well balanced, which might seem crazy if you never have to move yours, but I'm always having to move mine because I don't have a good place where I can just leave it set all the time. And so to be able to carry it and not have it feel top heavy, there's actually a handle built in back here for that. The cord wraps up on the back. There's an on-off switch so that if you are leaving it plugged in on your counter, if you have space for that, you can just turn it off. There's just a whole lot of things like that, it's just little things, but you add them all up and it makes a big difference. And so I actually really do like this one. We have retired, I think we had 2 of the other ones because my husband, will collect them. And he's such a good yard sailor, guys. He's so much better than I am at that. And so, we'll pull them out on occasion if we need an extra stand mixer, but this baby is definitely worth it. And in my opinion, as an avid Costco shopper, all of our appliances are at fantastic price points for what you're getting. And then, unlike Costco, you always have the option of hosting and getting it 60% off. So this month, you can get this guy it normally retails for $3.29, I want to say, and I think your price is like $139 as a host, which is, I don't even know where you'd find a good other brand stand mixer for $139 that isn't used. Brand new, beautiful, just in time for the holidays, guys. If you don't have a stand mixer in your kitchen and you do like to bake, or you wish you had more time to bake, you like to bake, you just don't have time, or you don't feel confident at it, a stand mixer changes everything. And I would love to help you explore that, to see if it is something for you. I mean, it might not be, and that is totally fine. But if it could save you time and money and make you feel really fun, good feelings about making things like your own pasta or your own whipped cream or your own cookies, or there's so many things. Meatloaf, you can shred chicken in this thing. There's so many things you can do with the stand mixer in a fraction of the time. Including the fact that you can set it and walk away, let it do its thing, come back when it beeps, and move on. It's such a time saver. So, all right, I hope you all found this helpful. If you watched the first one without the sound, God bless you. Thank you so much. I will try to be on again live next Thursday night. We leave for Kenya Friday morning. We leave for New York City Friday morning. We don't fly out to Kenya till Saturday. So I really do want to get in one last hurrah, maybe a short one at least, next Thursday night. So I look forward to seeing you again then. And I also look forward to your comments on this video and anything else that I can be doing for you. Please just let me know. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.